Hi, first of all, thank you for taking the time to come and let us explain our products and services to you today. Basically, our system is like a big bottled water plant that's been shrank to fit inside your office. And what we do is we take some flexible tubing like this and we simply connect it to your local water supply. It's very easy. Inside this machine is a purification system that's very similar to what you find in a bottled water factory. First of all, your water will pass through a carbon filter. The carbon filter removes chlorine and other chemicals and can also remove sediments that are in the water. After the water passes through this carbon filter, it goes through a reverse osmosis filter. The way a reverse osmosis filter works is it's got very, very tiny holes inside the membrane. And the water is trying to push its way through the membrane to get through to the other side. But what happens is because the holes are so small, everything that's in the water can't pass. And this goes away to the drain with some water that also isn't able to get through. And what you're left is just the pure water going through to the other side of the membrane. After the water's passed through the membrane, it goes into a storage tank waiting until you need it. When you press the button to get your drinking water, what happens is water that's in the storage tank will go through a third carbon filter into the cold tank and then out. This third filter isn't really completely necessary. It's just there as an added safety. It helps to freshen up the water and improve the taste of the water. So the water goes through this third and final filter and inside the cold storage tank. Now, one of the unique things about our system is that inside the cold storage tank we have an ultraviolet light, which I'm going to pull out so that you can see. So this is in the center of the cold tank, which is a stainless steel tank, and the ultraviolet rays destroy any bacteria that's in the water. And this tank has been specially designed to ensure that all of the water is exposed to this ultraviolet light. So what that means is that the water is completely protected by the ultraviolet light until you need it. Finally, what we have on the outside is all the plastics that are connected to the water touches have a special patented additive called BioCote, which is a silver additive. And what this does is it prevents bacteria from building up on the outside of the machine. So the water is protected on the outside by the BioCote and on the inside by the ultraviolet light. So the water is completely protected until you need to use it. One of the other health and safety benefits of our system is that you don't need someone to lift the heavy bottles. Now, it's normally the big guy in the office that has to do this, and I'm not so big, so I'm going to struggle here. But I have here a Garrafon bottle, and if you've ever tried to lift one of these, it's very difficult. It's very heavy. In fact, in England, where I'm from, it's illegal for just one person to lift one of these. It needs to be two people. And what can happen is that you can hurt your back very easily. So for at least one of you, you have that extra safety of now you don't have to worry about hurting your back. Let's get this out of the way. So besides the water being better protected on the inside and on the outside, and the health and safety aspects of not having to lift the heavy Garrafons, the other benefit that we have is the environmental benefit. These Garrafon bottles that we have here takes a lot of oil and gasoline to make the bottle, to transport it to you, and to transport it back to the factory to refill. And in the end, what happens with this plastic bottle is it ends up in a landfill site. And these bottles take hundreds of years to decompose. So it's very bad for the environment. Whereas with our system, we're just making the water when you need it, where you need it. And we don't have any of this waste of gasoline in transportation, in the production of the bottles, and we don't create any landfill waste that takes hundreds of years to decompose. So you have the health benefit of the water being protected by ultraviolet light inside and outside in a completely sealed system, which means that contaminants from the outside, such as insects, dust, and bacteria in the air, can't get into the system. The ultraviolet light stops the water from being contaminated with bacteria. The BioCote on the outside stops bacteria on the outside. So you've got the health and safety protection and the safety of the water, not having to lift the heavy bottles, and the environmental benefits as well. That's basically everything about our system. I hope that you'll come and taste the water. We'll be happy to answer any additional questions that you might have. And once again, thank you for your time to listen to us today.